Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bachelor post-show live chat with me, Bachelor Fantake. How's everyone doing tonight? Week 4 of The Bachelor is done, and a lot more tears continue as we get into more drama, more people upset with the same people, basically. Not entirely true. Zoe was the main villain, and it's sort of just shifted. Like, Zoe's been slowly working her way out of villain territory. A little bit of villain last week, but just like slowly. And then now Carolina's coming in, major villain vibes, majorly at odds with everyone on the show. But okay, before we get into talking about the show, of course, gotta go over the rules for the stream. Number 1, please, no posting any outright spoilers in the comment section. Of course, we're going to be doing some sleuthing. We always do sleuthing, a little bit of live sleuthing, a little bit of talking about the ending and stuff, but no outright spoilers. Number 2, please be kind to each other. And number 3, keep to the YouTube community guidelines. Otherwise, I don't want to ban anybody. I don't want to time out anybody, but we will. We've been really good about all that stuff though lately, so not too worried. But yes, this week in Madrid, Spain, we saw the 2 one-on-ones and a group date one-on-one with Serafina, the last one-on-one of the week, and this group date here as well. Pretty big week for drama on the back end. We also saw our first self-elimination of the week. As Rose self-eliminated, the person who did her dirty from the previews being Kolina. Basically just from the same drama from last week, where Kolina talked about the I was thinking about Rose while dancing with Kolina thing, and she's gone home. Don't blame her. I think it was over. It was over at that conversation last week with Grant. I know Grant gave Rose a chance and continued on and said there's something here, but it was kind of over at that point. I think just done. Even if if they were cool with each other, it was just like the damage at in such a time sensitive show. It was already done. And Maria Hernandez, good to see you. Thank you for the super chat. Parisa's exit interview about her cat saying she's still looking for a cat dad for him is what I tell my cat all the time. Parisa was low-key one of my favorite contestants this whole season. No chance. She was not getting the screen time, not in the previews. Absolutely one of my favorites this season. I'm glad she at least got a rock out of this to add to her collection. So I'm thankful that she got something. Stop with the bungee jumping dates, please. I get fight or flight seeing it. Yeah, we continue to have the adrenaline date, Serafina's date, the adrenaline bungee jumping date. It's just ingrained in Bachelor lore. I don't know what even the term is. Ingrained in Bachelor culture at this point. But if I was on the show and I had, my dog or potentially dogs on, I'd be the same. I'd be the same because it might seem weird. And she said, "I hope I don't sound insane," on when at the end of the episode. But at least if you're doing that stuff and you're honest about it, and you find someone who matches your vibe. Like, you're putting your truest vibe out there. Parisa did that. The rocks, the PowerPoint, as crazy as all was, the crazy cat lady stuff. If Grant came out and was like, "Yo, I freaking love rocks, man. I love rocks." You maybe you just found your person, so it's better to be yourself, even if it's insane. Dina also with the one-on-one this week, and Carolina, the big focal point. The big focal point as on the group date, one of the big issues of this episode, she mentioned that it's insane to kind of, after one date with someone, be going, oh, like, let's get engaged. Which is true. Like, it's true. I think it's true that she said that. It just rubbed Juliana the wrong way. And a lot of people, but because I think maybe if she had said something like that, regularly, she might have been okay. But the fact that she's been, pulling time, causing drama, it's that's the difference here. So Juliana called her out. Caroline ended up crying at the end of the rose, the group date, when Grant was going to give out the rose, and Grant decided not to give out the rose. Oh, and yeah, that's not going to go well. People are not going to like that. And it just continued. More Carolina pulling Grant. It looks like the same thing's going to happen next week, and Carolina's days are numbered. We're just getting down to too small of a number, and in this episode we already saw the seeds planted, I think, narratively, and with Grant, in Grant's outlook on who he's going to pick. That Carolina is gone. It's the same. It's like she's now where Rose was last week. Rose, while Grant was like, we saw in like many people posted it. I posted it in my video as well. The actual conversation where Grant talks about thinking about Rose during the dancing, but he wasn't specifically talking about during Carolina's dance. But after that whole conversation, it was doomed for Rose. Even though Grant was like, "We're cool, we have a connection, let's keep this going." Would have taken a miracle this week for anything to come out of it for Rose. But I'm thinking Carolina's in that same space, at least right now. Without looking at the sleuthing or preview stuff, I don't know what more we can really do beyond what we've already done with like the top, the top, like seeing Juliana interestingly here in the final three. Latia, we've seen the Zoe stuff and all that, but I don't know much more until we get to the mid-season preview, which I think is going to be next week. We're going to get the extended mid-season preview. It's always happens about halfway through. It's going to be episode 5 next week. They're going to give us a little better look at the end of the season. Usually that's what they do. Beyond that, I don't know what more we can do with next week, but Carolina, like, just feeling the vibe, thinking about the numbers, the Bachelor math of it all. I'm not sure if Carolina's gonna make it out of next episode. This episode we saw him talk about her like, after everything we connected with and shared with, this is the stuff you're talking about, and he sided with Juliana, essentially, when Juliana sat down and gave her side of the story. So Carolina, I'm thinking, is her days are numbered. And who do we have left? Well, we've got 3 went home. 3 went home, so we're at 7. We're at 7. So I think it could be another 3 and then hometowns? Unless they do a to be continued or something. So 3, they could do, I don't even know. Man. Because there are 10 left? 10 left? And then this episode, we've got Alex still in, Carolina, it's 2, Dina, 3, Juliana, 4, Latia, 5, Natalie went home, 6, Seven women left, yeah. So Zoe, Serafina, Rose went home, Parisa went home, and Natalie went home. 7 left. So 3 to hometowns? Unless they do something crazy like 2, and then have a top 5, and then there's only 1, or just 1 person goes home. Maybe they could do a one gone, if they wanted to. But I think it's Scotland and then hometowns. So. So then, I mean, then the sleuthing for next week is just math. It's math homework time. We know, so Zoe, we know, boom, is locked in for a hometown. And Latia, Juliana, 3. So that's a 3. That's the 3 that our sleuthing has come together with so far. And so Serafina is left over, coming off a 1-on-1. Alex and Carolina and Dina. So it's pick 'em. Pick 'em. So Dina or Alex, as far as I see it. Because, I mean, Alex's first impression rose, but has she kept the momentum? Whereas Dina's coming in at this week with a little momentum. You know, they talked a lot about wanting children and all that sort of stuff. They connected a bit. I mean, Serafina, maybe. But I think, I don't know, I'm not quite vibing Serafina. Not quite vibing in comparison to Alex or Dina. So that's my pick. Alex or Dina. I'm stubborn, so I picked Alex originally as the fourth hometown. So I'm just gonna stubbornly stick with that for now, because I'd rather be just stick with it and say aha than swap it. But yeah, I mean, there you go. Scotland, episode 5, episode 6, hometowns, episode 7, tell all, episode 8, fantasy suites, episode 9, finale. They've been doing 9, 10ish lately, and then boom, bada bing, they're done. They're out before it's too late in March, which they've been doing, and then no Bachelorette. My goodness. But we do have, and I got this was in my stockings this year. Love is Blind is on. I got my Love is Blind shirt on. If you want other stuff to watch, I've been covering that as well. But then, yes, but we do have Paradise, Bachelor in Paradise. So Paradise is back this year. I'm you know, and that's going to be our other Bachelor content for the year. Just Paradise, unless they've got a surprise like golden season in the works. But haven't heard anything on that front. So I'm hoping they really juice up Paradise. I'm hoping they really, really invest in making it good, making it proper. So we'll see. But you know, like there's tons of other, there's like Perfect Match. We got lots of stuff to cover. So even without the Bachelor we've still got stuff to go. So I think that's pretty good outlook on the season. I think we've got an idea of like this episode, how it feeds narratively into the rest of the season, or at least right up to hometowns. You know, they tell the story of this episode, but they also, you know, bleed into what happens overall in the season, which is like it's such an like the Zoe thing I've been paying close attention to, because one of my favorite, and I've said this if you watch this channel a lot, one of my or at least the live streams, One of my favorite things was Ben Flajnik's season, watching some of the editing from that, because anytime you see a villain like Courtney start to like get further and further along, and we're like he's serious about them. They're going, far. A bit of like Corinne as well. The way they like shift the edit is very interesting to me, and Zoe is like that. Zoe in the first few episodes, major villain, and this episode, big emotional moment. We've seen her pull away from the villain spotlight and Carolina shift in, and I don't know if she's also like, for all we know, she could be still like having fights or being at odds with other women on the show, but they just pull that away because we have Zoe getting a hometown, maybe even a fantasy suite. Like we talked about top 4, we only have 2 women from the preview that at least from what I've seen, I could be wrong. There could be little spots somewhere or something that I missed, but 2 women in fantasy suite shots. Like, for like Zoe could be getting a fantasy suite as well. I kind of like, just assumed that she would be going home at fantasy suites just because of like the villain stuff, the drama that it typically weighs you down. Even if you go far, it weighs you down, and you go home at hometowns. But she's here, so they like she could win. I think the only thing I'm thinking is that for sure is that Juliana makes it to the final 2. Even though, so next week will be really interesting because she hasn't had any she's had lots of good edits. This episode she was like intertwined in the drama, so of course she was a focus, but even before that she was, getting lots of good focus time. 2 dates usually means one's for fantasy suites, one's for the final date. 2 different dates, so therefore final 2. You would think maybe Latia would be the other one because she is like, their connection is palpable, and she's had a really good edit too. But like, maybe Zoe could win the whole freaking thing. That'd be that'd be interesting. And so that edit shift is like, it's very like, it feels really subtle when you watch it week to week and you're not paying attention to it. When I watched Ben Flajnik's season, I watched it all like in a few days. Back when my wife and I were starting to date, we were looking for like just weekend mindless trash TV to like not think about anything and just sit on a couch and just chill out. We watched we settled up. We said, oh yeah, The Bachelor. Watched Ben Flajnik's season. Watched it like all in a row. Like Sean Lowe's season. Sean Lowe's season, I think, is the first one we watched. I think. But Ben Flajnik's season, and it's so interesting to see that how they kind of go. Oh, they like. It's a little bit of an older season too, so it's a different, little bit different, but in the way they do things. But the shit, like the drama, and then like, oh, this is going really well. We have to like put her in a positive light. Oh, and then they know they obviously know that that she ends up being the pick. And so they have to like, change things to be a little bit more fun and positive. But all right, let's take a look now at this preview for next week. The The drama continues, and one of the really interesting parts of this preview, this episode, we saw this big, beautiful moment between Dina and Carolina. Such friendship, such love. I love you. This preview, they don't love. They don't love. They've lost the love. They've lost it. So
next week,
Jesse Palmer. All right. Let's take a look. There we go.
Next week.
Welcome to Edinburgh.
We are in Scotland. I don't know if that's the accent, but it's fine.
Scotland.
Epitomize.
Scotland. Next week. Yeah, seven left. Jeez. Scotland next week. Edinburgh. And yeah, so this has got to be what's going on? This episode today, they were in the mansion. Next episode, they're cutting it down to hometowns. They've been slashing this show. Remember the good old days? There was like the height of Bachelor fandom. Like, we're getting like Hannah Brown Peter season. There'd be like 12, 13 episodes. They stretch that thing out as like the max that they can. And I feel like we've been saying this lately a lot, but this episode this week, they went, oh, we're leaving the mansion. You know, Grant's not in the mansion. He's actually not even in the country anymore. And we're Scotland, Spain, Scotland, then back to it.
Scotland epitomizes romance. It feels like I'm living in a dream.
The big Bridgerton,
like
Cinderella
can take a full backseat because this is like next level type of love.
Yeah, the Bridgerton Cinderella type date. Juliana's getting her date. So be interesting to see. It's a big week for Juliana, and I mean, like, one of the things I talked about, I mean, I know we don't get the perfect picture of who this person is, but I don't think it can be anyone else. Like, who's left here? We've got Alex, Carolina, no. Juliana fits. Dina, it's not like Latia, it's not Serafina, it's not Zoe. Like, this just like, I don't know, it just matches the hair vibe. So I think it's just, and I think for me, when I was like really doing like the prep for the season preview video, like the full season preview breakdown, even then, like, we're at 7 now, but like even then I was like going through the cast and going, okay, who could this be, compared to who's getting screen time, who else is in the preview, and and it was like only Juliana. Like, only Juliana was the option. So big week for Juliana next week. As this seems to propel her potentially into the final 2. Now, once we get to the final 2, I mean, we've seen this stuff. Like, he at the 11th hour, Grant's still wondering what he's gonna do. Maybe it's Juliana and Latia, and he's wondering, like, do I really do I have to convert to be a Mormon? Do I have to do that? Which by the way, not a dig, not necessarily a dig. Do I have to be a Mormon? Do I have to watch Book of Mormon? How do I do this? I mean, I'm hoping he's having those conversations. I'm hoping he's having the religious conversations, the politics conversations with everybody. But maybe Grant decides, let's do it. Yeah, Latia is a Mormon. Anyway. Back to this preview.
Love is something that really can't be described. It's like you'll go to the ends of the earth for that person.
I feel like I can see a life with him.
You're beautiful, you're smart, you're funny, and I'm falling for you.
See, now I don't... This is here. Look at this. They've got this, like, potential...
You're beautiful.
This potential one-on-one shot. A shot so often, right before hometowns, they have this very serious one-on-one. A rose hometown spots on the line. Grant's opening up and saying more things like, sometimes they say, I am falling in love with you. All these sort of things. And they cut to Zoe, as if Zoe is on this date with him. In the season preview, they had Serafina in there. And then, literally, the next shot is Zoe's on a group date. Just like, boom, right there. See? Which means she can't be on that. Well, technically, this, they could be doing something like where they say this at a different point in the show. Rose ceremony. But, so he can't be talking to, or most likely he can't be talking to Zoe here. It's a fake out. I would sooner bet this date we've got Latia here as the other one-on-one for the week. Her official one-on-one. She got that like bonus one-on-one, but now this is like an official one-on-one. And we're going to see her getting a rose. This could also be with... no, this can't be... because the night portion of their date... So this can't be Juliana. This is Juliana's date. So it can't be with Juliana. This would have to be with Latia, most likely, unless he for some reason says this. I mean, the background, everything's set up. It looks like they're at a dinner for a one-on-one in some fancy castle or something like that, some fancy place. But yeah, it could be. No, I don't know. I don't know if this attire is giving me cocktail party, but it could be group date or something. But I don't buy this. This is to Latia. So what he says here...
Beautiful. You're smart, you're funny, and I'm falling for you.
Falling for you? Latia. Latia. It's Latia. He's talking to Latia here. Latia here is what I'm calling. Makes so much sense, too, with what we know. All this, her going far, the connection that they've had. So, not Zoe, Latia. Even though Zoe does apparently get a hometown, but...
Mark, you're funny.
So there you go. But then we've got this
I'm here for love, and nothing can stop that.
Group date.
Carolina is giving damsel in distress energy.
What's going on?
I love how I love how they're all like in these like Scottish get-ups, and I know she does have a kilt on, but and then there's Carolina just not participating. She's just in the back eating some haggis, I'm sure.
Is giving damsel in distress energy.
What's going on?
She takes them away and they're gone for the rest of the day.
So again, Carolina takes away Grant. She pulls the I'm upset. Grant goes, takes her away. Classic Bachelor playbook. And takes him away for like the whole day. And now BFF Dina is not impressed.
And they're gone for the rest of the day.
I feel like you just have stronger connections, and it's hard for me to be here.
Yeah. 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 I agree. I agree. It's time to pull a Rose.
It's the smallest group date that we've ever been on. Instead, she wanted it to be her date, and that's not what it was.
Now, like, everyone, like, last person, Dina, in the house who was, like, BFFs with her, now everyone is against Carolina. That's the deal.
Today, when you decided to monopolize Grant's time,
I can't account for the weather gods.
I can't, yeah, yep. Can't account for the weather gods. I wonder if we're gonna see another classic, the group date before hometowns, where the lead goes, this is you know, I got a lot to think about. This is, you know, a lot's happened today. I can't give out a rose tonight. Very, very common to happen when there are only 2 roses left. So I think we could be seeing that, where production says don't give out a rose, and he doesn't want to because there's too much drama. Because we've got Latia getting a rose. We know she makes it past next week, and Juliana as well. We're like 99.9% sure she makes it past next week. So both, unless they pull something crazy like only one person going home or something, and this is for some reason not the episode before hometowns, which I highly doubt. 1 rose on a one-on-one, another rose on a one-on-one means 2 tickets to hometowns. If they give out a rose on the group date, that's just kind of like 1 rose to be handed out at the final rose ceremony, which they could do. And I feel like they have done situations like that in the past, where it's like they arrive and it's just 1 rose to give out, but not common. So I bet you we'll see that classic as well.
Or the weather gods.
We're absolutely done talking about this. We're all mutually annoyed at what just keeps happening with Carolina.
you're like, I'm taking Grant and I'm
But
gone.
I did not
and
take him.
Oh my God.
I have to go.
Are you gonna go talk to Grant? Because that would be crazy.
I guess I'm crazy and evil.
And there you go. So I mean, you don't need the Bachelor math to figure out that Carolina is likely going home next week. I mean, even her BFF Dina, who were doing the love you. This episode is done with Carolina, and I think Grant, like, it would have taken like a real huge shift for Carolina to come out with a hometown next week anyway, because Grant was already starting to say, like, I'm like, Carolina, this is, you know, after all, like, the great dates we have, these things you're saying, it's, you know, not reassuring. Even though he gave her a rose this week, I think it was a similar situation to Rose, the person Rose, last week, where it was something bad happened, but we've had an established connection, so I'm giving you a chance this week. But then, you know, it would take the weather gods to come in and really change the forecast for Carolina to pick things up. And I mean, seeing the same old playbook, her upset, pulling aside, everyone else causing drama, like getting upset, and I love this shot that they throw and they find. You know, sometimes these shots are just like nothing shots, but editors just like pull them in, because like this is her on like a water break, just like having a random conversation with one of the interns about something inconsequential, and then she takes a sip of water, and Kara guy's like, we're gonna use that. She's gone. She's gone. So it you know, we've got our other three that we know for sure are getting through, and then it's who do you think is the fourth? Alex, Dina, Serafina, Carolina. Those are the four remaining that we don't know for sure have a hometown spot. We don't know what that fourth spot is. We haven't accounted for every single one, I don't think. So it's one of them. Don't think it's Carolina. Don't think it's Serafina. Dina or Alex is where I'm going. So take your pick, or Grant throws the wild card of the year, the Bachelor year, brings in Carolina. Dina is 11, one of 11 siblings. That would be, you know what? Maybe like what if production? He's like I'm gonna eliminate. I'm not feeling it with Alex, or Carolina, or Dina, or Serafina. Ooh. Yeah, I'm like, who should I pick? I'm thinking Alex, and production says no. We don't want to go to Canada. We don't want to cross the border. we don't want to do that. We don't want to pay anything extra. Just pick Dina, because that would be like 11 siblings. That would be at least good TV. What happened to Beverly? Beverly had she had to get her appendix removed. So not this episode, but the one before, Beverly was going to have a one-on-one, and she mysteriously left after having some illness. She was throwing up. She had her appendix removed. She had to have emergency surgery. So it's a story that could earn her a spot in paradise, though. Bring her into the tell-all. She plays her cards right. She could be smooching up with Hakeem if she plays her cards right. Plays her cards right. So yeah, absolutely, yeah. Poor girl, absolutely, like not great, but she's okay, and that's great. So it could be like a like a nice thing for them to do, like, hey, here, let's give you a shot at love. I believe she did say something like she might not have considered paradise, but because she feels like she lost out a chance at romance, she would do it, I think. At least she didn't have a pulmonary embolism or two. But that's okay. I haven't had one since the second one, so yeah, I had two pulmonary embolisms. I had one it was like the February of 2022, and then I had gone off the meds about 6 months later, done all the tests, and they were like, you're good to go. So I was like, cool, good to go. And then nope. But second time I was much more equipped, so I was caught a lot quicker and all that fun stuff, but I'm doing great now. So anyway, on that note, it is on that note, I think it's time to end the stream. We've had a good stream here, and I think we've kind of grouped up all the info we need for next week. There will be a preview breakdown coming out, recap tomorrow, and then more Love is Blind at the end of the work week. So lots of content coming out, lots of content ahead, and a lot more still to come. I think next week is going to be the big preview, so it'll be an interesting one to take a look at. So thank you all for joining me here tonight. Thank you all for the super chat, for the chatting, and for any of you that have been lurking. Always appreciated. On to more content. Keep your eyes peeled. And until next time, Bachelor Fantake out.